everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, March 28th, 2021. I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, so I'm coming at you in all audio form. But I assure you, I don't have COVID, I am not pregnant, and I have not been poisoned with thallium. Promise. Okay, so Chelsea poisoned Ray to get back at Adam and Sharon for kissing. Well, what did Ray ever do to deserve that? I guess Chelsea thought that Ray wouldn't mind. Oh, don't worry, Ray. It will all be worth it in the end. I'm sure in the end, Ray will have seen the light and understood that he just had to take one for the team to get Adam out of the way. Chelsea. So here's our big twist. Chelsea is the culprit. What do you think about this in terms of Chelsea's character, Chelsea's motive? Are you rooting for Chelsea and her revenge plan? Or are you rooting against Chelsea and her revenge plan? That's our poll question for the week at yrchat.com. I don't know. I like the drama, but boy, this is drastic. Why couldn't Chelsea poison someone who deserved to be poisoned? Like Jordan. Faith's so-called only friend. Why didn't somebody put thallium in her shaving cream? On Monday, Ray was on his deathbed. Elena and Nate come together to simultaneously diagnose him with thallium poisoning. And at first, I thought they were saying that he had Valium poisoning. I was like, Valium? I've always heard good things about Valium. If you are in a 1970s or 1980s movie, someone might offer you Valium to calm you down. But thallium, I guess, is the culprit here. It's a chemical element, it's metallic, and that's what I can tell you about it. I tried to go deeper into finding out precisely what it was, but then my eyes glazed over. I just could make time for a quick Google search, just enough for it to be revealed that this is apparently quite a popular secret poisoning weapon these days. There was a couple of news articles about people being poisoned by people they knew with thallium, and according to Nate, it was only found in the men's products in Sharon's home. So Chelsea, or Chloe, went around and slipped thallium into Ray's shaving cream? Well, what about Ray's Old Spice and Ray's Dapper Dan pomade? Was nothing sacred here? The poison was only in his fresh, clean, sexy, good-smelling man products, so that only he would be affected. The poison was not found in Sharon's Aquanet, and it was not found in Faith's Dove Beauty Bar. Well, now the hunt is on. The witch hunt is on. Case closed. Adam is the culprit. Adam wanted Ray out of the way to quench his unquenchable thirst for Sharon's love. And now everyone's coming to Sharon, Nick, Nikki, Ray, all telling her to stop acting like Adam's not the number one suspect here. I think Sharon is in shock right now and disbelief because Sharon knows that the feelings between her and Adam were reciprocal. It was not just one-sided like she's been telling Ray and everyone else. So Sharon is not only in disbelief that Adam would do this to Ray, I think she's in disbelief that he could do this to her. She's looking at those text messages that were sent, and she knows that if she sends those to Ray, Adam's going straight to jail. At this point, she's kind of withholding some information here. She knows that Ray is going to pounce if she shares those text messages. It makes Adam look guilty as sin. And Ray was barely off the IV before he was having a meeting with Michael, thank you very much, to get a search warrant for Adam's penthouse. That was some pretty cool copping right there. Ray suspects a crime has taken place against him, so he just went and got that search warrant and ransacked Adam's place himself. No other officers even came with him. The town pariah is suspected of poisoning the most upstanding member of the GCPD. Yeah, just go ahead and send Ray over there by himself to check it out. Hey, Ray, can you pick up some coffee for the boys at the station on your way back? And don't spill the coffees, because you're looking kind of stumbly still. A few minutes later, after Ray serves the search warrant, he comes down the stairs holding a baggie of evidence. But Adam was gone. Hey, at least Adam got a heads up that he was being framed. So maybe he's off right now doing some damage control. I don't know. While Ray was searching the penthouse, Adam slipped out the front door, but he peeped back in one last time and caught Chelsea doing calisthenics in the chair with a big Cheshire Cat smile on her face. Adam didn't even know that Ray had been poisoned. Apparently, it was a very small story in the GCPD. Adam didn't even know about it until Ray showed up at the front door with the search warrant. Adam put the pieces together pretty quickly, though, and he got out of there. Because Adam was starting to be suspicious early in the week, and it almost seems to me like Chelsea wanted it that way. Maybe she did want him to see those texts so that he could have a few days to spin his wheels frantically before she dropped the final shoe. Oh, I did enjoy the moment, though. The very first moment when Adam first started to unravel the mystery of the text messages. And he sat down to talk at Chelsea about it. He dared to ask her if she knew anything about any of this. But then he took one look at her big, watery, blinky eyes, and he momentarily felt guilty for even thinking such a thing of Chelsea. But then he knew it in his gut because he called her doctor, wondering if she would slip up or if the doctor would say something to him about, oh, maybe she's made some progress and then she lost the progress. But no. Chelsea is too skilled at this mannequin game to slip up now. So he moves on to Chloe. Adam moves on to Chloe. Yes, Chloe has plenty of motive to set up Adam. But her pitch of innocence to him was pretty convincing, I have to say. And I felt like a lot of it was sincere. Chloe hasn't been looking for revenge on Adam. She tried to talk Chelsea out of it. Chloe just wanted to help her friend. And if that meant getting rid of Adam in the process, well, then let's do it. But I don't think that Chloe was the one who planted the poison. she was looking pretty shocked in the previews for next week when this all started to come out or starts to come out. I think that Chloe planted the tchotchkes, which later Ray found in Adam's car. And I think that Chloe sent the text messages, the follow-up text messages to Sharon, helped Chelsea out with that. But I don't think she planted the poison. I think Chelsea somehow pulled that off on her own. I don't know how, but I just feel like Chloe has too much to lose these days to go around poisoning a police officer. Just because she and Chelsea are besties doesn't mean that she's going to do anything for her. Kevin and Ray are co-workers at the GCPD, for crying out loud. She'd be risking his job. And she still has a baby in diapers. I don't think Chloe knew what she was getting herself into, but I do think that Chelsea just dragged Chloe into something that she might have some trouble getting out of now. It was all fun and games when it was seeming a little more innocent, because it was kind of funny watching Chloe and Chelsea work together to cover up their operation when one of them can't speak or move. I mean, I know the whole thing was never innocent, but it was a little bit comedic to see Chloe trying to go on the defensive and defend herself against Adam while Chelsea's pretending that she can't say or do anything. And Chloe then blurted out about the photo of Sharon and Adam's kiss, and Chelsea had to react like she'd never heard anything about it before. I mean, it was an entertaining scene. I think it's a really good thing that Melissa Claire Egan is a great emoter, because her eyes had to say it all right there, pretending to be shocked learning about this betrayal for the first time. She had these big alligator tears and this look of still betrayal on her face. Adam didn't spend too much time talking about it, though. He quickly explained the kiss away and then never mentioned it again. Well, he should have known without a doubt right then and there that that's what it was all about. He was caught kissing Sharon, and now he's being framed for trying to poison Sharon's husband. Chelsea, Chloe, of course they're behind it. This is like some 1980s black comedy teen movie. The Heathers 2. The Chethers. He was kissing another girl, so I'll poison the girl's boyfriend and frame him for it. It makes total sense. My heart just aches for Faith. I don't love the turn that her story took this week, but I just feel so sad that someone would go out of their way to be so cruel to her. I just don't understand it. I don't have that in me. The whole secret admirer thing was just a long setup by Jordan to lure Faith into a false sense of security. And then Jordan had the secret admirer reveal his identity as probably one of the most popular boys in the school, judging by Faith's reaction screaming into the pillow when he revealed himself. And that was so adorable. I so wish that had been true. I wish for her that had turned out to be true. But then it took a weird turn. The secret admirer was pressuring her to admit in the text message that she loves him, only to find out that it was Jordan all along. And the whole declaration of love was now posted on social media to further humiliate and alienate Faith. And now she's robbed Victor's liquor bar and gone for a cry and a drive. I mean, nothing good is going to come of that. Ugh. I'm just old, I guess. Text messaging and online bullying, it's just such a whole world that I can imagine, but that I don't know firsthand. I just never got to experience that, thankfully. I guess in some ways I was fortunate that my bullying took place face to face, because it's such a strange, insidious, underground racket that these kids have going on these days, and it's very easy as an adult, as an older person, to say, well, ignore it. It's not reality. But it is their reality. It's reality for them. It's their world. It's what they're going through. And Faith really thought she was past the bullying, when really she was just in the middle of more bullying. She had agreed to go to counseling. She was feeling more confident. She was talking to Phyllis about first love and first dates. She had Grandma Nikki take her to the coffee house, thinking she was going to meet her secret admirer for the first time. But in retrospect, I suppose that meeting probably got photographed and added to social media too. Lonely loser Faith waiting around for a date that never happened. Ha ha ha. Isn't that hilarious, everybody? Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, I hate to admit it now, but what was hilarious to me was Nick, before it all went to hell. The way his eyes were bugging out of his head at the idea of Faith dating. It begins. Boys. There were moments of hope. I felt like I got my hopes up for Faith, only to have them dashed. But at the same time, all week, I kept thinking, I wish someone would go deeper with Faith and press her for some hard info on who she's texting with. Because I think there was a reason that Faith was asking Phyllis those questions about love and letting Nikki help her cushion the blow with the parents. I think Faith knew that her mother or her father would and should have been asking her harder questions about who this boy is and where she met him. And Faith didn't have either one of those answers. She didn't know who he is, and she hadn't met him. And she's talking about love and dates? The parents would have seen that as a red flag, I can't help but think. Nikki, on the other hand, thought it was romantic. I loved those scenes, but it never seemed romantic to me. It always seemed creepy. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but Faith didn't even give this person her phone number. This person just found her new phone number. And to me, that just always had an air of danger around it. But then again, I also, as a viewer, had a benefit of being on the inside and the outside of the situation as omniscient watching it. So I don't know. By early in the week, I was back to my original theory. I was hoping that the boy was real and that he would turn out to be Moses, because Nate and Devon were, again, talking about Moses's long-awaited arrival. And it was one scene after Faith was doing some mystery texting. So that was disappointing. I thought there was hope there, and it was dashed. Where is Moses? Why couldn't it have been good and have been Moses? Where is he? What the heck is Sophia doing to get him ready to come to Genoa City? Teaching him Mandarin? Just shove a red backpack on him and drop him off already. Maybe we'll get lucky and Moses will be able to offer Devon some perspective on his love life. Devon wants Amanda so bad that he slept with Elena twice. Yeah, even a teenager could tell Devon that there's something wrong with that mentality. Well, last week I asked you guys, should Amanda forgive Devon? Should she move forward with their relationship, or should she just move on from that relationship? 82% of you said, no. Amanda should not forgive Devon. She should move on. Wow, 82%. 18% saying, yes, I think she can find a way to forgive him. I mean, ultimately, yes, we know she can find a way to forgive him. It's true, and she probably will. But I have to say, I begrudgingly voted no with the majority that Amanda should not forgive Devon, because even though I want Devon and Amanda together, well, I can't blame her one bit for not wanting to hear Devon's excuses, for not wanting to entertain his apologies, and for practically slamming the door in his face. But I also think she is going to be using Devon as a sounding board. She's going to change her mind and start leaning on Devon so that she can talk to him about everything that just exploded with Naya, and that will lead to her eventually forgiving him. Oh, Naya arrives at Amanda's hotel room doorstep, telling Amanda that her family needs Amanda's help. So apparently, Naya's father, Amanda's grandfather, Sutton Ames, is suddenly being charged in connection with a 30-year-old murder. And it's the 30-year-old murder of, dun, 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 Amanda's father, Richard Nyland. And Naya wants Amanda to be the defense attorney? Quick side note. Y&R is doing a phenomenal job with these soap opera names. Sutton Ames, Richard Nyland, Ashland Locke. It's all very soapy. But should Amanda be getting involved here? The cynical side of me says, no way. Amanda was right to think that Naya is just using her as a publicity stunt. Because if the daughter of the victim believes in his innocence, then surely the jury will too. And it's not like Sutton Ames can't afford a skilled criminal attorney of his own. Surely he already has one or two. They shouldn't need Amanda. It seems sketchy. But the soap opera fan in me, and the person who's very interested in this emotional journey in me, says, yeah, I like the idea that we could use this little murder trial project as a way to dig into Amanda's family dynamics. Bring her onto the team. Team Ames. Oh. However, if Amanda does choose to move forward, which she will, I am going to need Y&R to materialize this Sutton Ames for me. And he better be spectacular. No more off-screen action. We need the characters who are mentioned on screen to be presented on screen. Amanda had better not be defending this guy through big blue text message bubbles. Kyle gets a phone call from Tara saying that she thinks that Ashland has become suspicious of their connection. Followed by Kyle getting a phone call from Ashland himself, and then nothing for 2 episodes. It was a major 2-episode-long cliffhanger. We come back to it, and we find out that Ashland just wants to schedule a meeting with Kyle to discuss some trivial bit of Jabot business, which further adds to Kyle's suspicion that Ashland knows something. Yeah, you didn't do a very good job of hiding it. Well, now Kyle realizes that if the Loch Ness Monster has been awakened, then he better fess up to Jack now. He better let his father know what's really going on. Well, everything except the part about the kid. Everything except the most important part. And it is a shame that Kyle feels he can't be honest and open with his dad because of Jack's relationship with Sally. She was eavesdropping at the door on their conversation. And even if she wasn't, I think Kyle's afraid that Jack will turn around and accidentally blurt something out to Sally if Jack knew the full truth, that there could be an Abbott child involved. Now, meanwhile, Summer tells Phyllis that the Ashland Locke is the husband of the woman that Kyle had the affair with. And Phyllis's red flags went up. She immediately sussed him out as dangerous while he was staying at her hotel last week. And she suddenly thought twice about doing anything that would add any fire to this situation. Phyllis wanted to tell Jack all about Sally's search history. She was blowing up his phone to get a hold of him. But Summer convinced her to not do anything that would cause the Sally bomb to go off and blow up Kyle's secret all over town and the world. So Jack remains in the dark for now. Kyle says he wants to tell Jack the truth as soon as they have a private place to speak. Phil has had 2 opportunities to give Jack some information about what has been going on in his family, while he's been busy giving Sally winter driving lessons in the spring. Is Mariah starting to show already? She's practically ready to give birth. This is the longest dragged out this is going to be the longest dragged out pregnancy ever. I'm exhausted by it, and she's not even pregnant yet. Man, we're in for a ride. Mariah and Tessa are moved into the mansion. Mariah has been inseminated with Devon's lucky penny. This is happening. It's happened. It's happened. At least maybe we're one step closer. Nina had Mariah's silk pajamas waiting on the bed after the insemination appointment. But I feel doom lurking. What happens when all is said and done? The baby's born. Mariah hands little him or her over to Abby, and then is expected to leave the mansion, right? The days of silk pajamas will be over for her. It was nice to see Mariah giving Sharon the post-insemination update, but I think I need a few more scenes of Mariah talking to herself alone or to a therapist or to Tessa about why she's doing this for Abby. Mariah and Abby don't seem like all that good of friends to me, and sometimes I think that Mariah still looks kind of shocked and uncertain about all of this. It was a fast decision that she made to get pregnant for Abby. I've taken longer to decide which headphones to buy. And sometimes I feel like Mariah's getting pumped up and pressured here. Maybe a little used here. I mean, she is being used with her consent. She's agreed to it. I'm sure Abby will be eternally grateful. It's just that there's something that still doesn't sit comfortably with me. Am I alone? It feels like everybody is bending over backwards to help Abby, trying to fill the hole that Chance left, and maybe they shouldn't be. I don't know. The one good thing is I'm happy that Tessa brought her guitar to the mansion. I am hoping that we get to have some scenes of Tessa playing that guitar in Catherine's living room, rocking out under the big portrait. Somehow I feel like Catherine Chancellor would have appreciated that and maybe tapped her fingernails on a teacup to the beat of Tessa's music. Well, what's wrong with wanting silk pajamas? I mean, what's wrong with wanting nothing but the best? That was our Who Said It quote from last week. What's wrong with wanting nothing but the best? Why, that was Sally Spectra said to Jack about Jack. Seems like she was trying to grease his wheels a little bit there. What's wrong with wanting you? I want nothing but the best. Well, that must have been a very memorable line because a lot of people guessed that that was Sally. It was Sam, Henry, Sandra, Lynn, Julie, Herman, Deetles, Ellen, Nancy, Victoria, Jamie, Diane K, Daisy, Jinxie, Kamna, and Sharita. It's been a while since I had a Who Said It quote that had so many winners. Well, goodness, let's see if you guys can do it again. Oh, let's pick this one. A little honesty goes a long way in rebuilding trust. There's a nice little line. A little honesty goes a long way in rebuilding trust. Who said it? If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Well, how about I read a few comments to fill in some of the holes on my short analysis this week? We'll start out with Gary because Gary's saying something that kind of validates my feelings here. Gary says, Abby has used her magic wand to cast a fairy tale spell on all her crazy friends to make her dream come true. People and donors should wake up. Absolutely nobody is mandated to make it their job to make the princess happy. Did I already mention this? Wake up. This is a circus, and maybe Mariah and Tessa don't want to live with you. Preposterous baby making in the process. Have fun now before you actually are hit with quadruplets lined up in their cribs in the Chancellor living room, just like in your dream. Entrepreneurial career girl no more with 7 children and never a husband in sight to help you. Abandon plan now. Well, I guess it's the part about Abby casting this bizarre spell on her friends that really speaks to me. There is just something that I keep nagging in the back of my head thinking, why is everyone doing this for her? It's such a big deal that nobody really thought about. What is it about Abby? She must have some kind of magic. Superplex asks, does Mariah have self-esteem issues? This is what it appears like, because I cannot understand why she should subject herself through this. Yes, that's what I'm kind of wondering too. What is it about Mariah that is allowing herself to make such a big decision so impulsively? Sherrod said, I'm guessing it may stem back to her cult days of needing to be loved and accepted. Maybe she thinks this is her way to do it by showing that she can be a great friend and connected to a family dynasty. I don't know. It is almost like Mariah wants to feel loved. It is a strange. Mariah's emotional reasoning for this is, I think, maybe what is puzzling to me, especially. Sherrod also has a great little point here, saying that somebody must have done their research or watched the classics over the hiatus, because that Lucky Penny reference was how the actress Cameron Grimes, then Cassie, now Mariah, was introduced to Y&R 24 years ago as a 6-year-old. Also, 4 years ago, Kate Banks' Tessa made her debut on this date. I didn't even catch that or make the penny connections. I applaud you for catching it. Well, speaking of debuts, Sherrod also says Moses Winters is scheduled to make his appearance on Thursday, April 1st. I hope this is not a joke. The actor casted to play him is a newcomer named Jacob Aaron Gaines. Oh, well, I did look him up. He is a cute boy, fresh face. Maybe he will become an ally to Faith. Tina Cole says, I do like that we get to see Faith as a young teen, just transitioning into that teenage phase. I think it's different when they soar as characters to later teens, like 17 or 18 years old, compared to 13 or 14 years old, like Faith. There's much growing and change between those years, and it's nice to see the natural maturing of Faith, what it's like to crush on a boy at 14 rather than 18 or in your 20s. I just hope they don't make her story, I just hope they make her story interesting and relatable, but not too dark. Oh, Tina Cole, the natural maturing of Faith. Yes, excellent. It's wonderful that they chose to stick with this actress. I hope they continue to. Unfortunately, I do think one way or another, this story is about to get dark. Gary says, I ask chatters to pray for Faith in her wild ride. Yes. We all need to have a little private moment in honor of Faith, don't we? Hope she makes it through this. Hope she's not being written off the show. Well, here's something interesting I never would have known. This is a great side note from Diana, who says, Tommy Ross was the name of the good-looking guy that takes Carrie to the prom in the movie Carrie. Diana, did you just know that because you're a fan of Carrie? I've only seen it once. I absolutely would not have made that connection. But the name of the boy that revealed himself, in quotes, to Faith was Tommy Ross. And that's also the name of the good-looking guy that takes Carrie to the prom in the movie Carrie. And obviously that's a setup too. I would not have made the Carrie connection, but oh Lord, that's great. That's great. Diana also says, though, what doesn't make sense about Faith and the phony texts is that if Faith had a new phone number, how did Jordan supposedly get the new number unless Faith gave it to her? If Faith gave Jordan the number and only her, then wouldn't Faith realize that it was Jordan texting her all along? I like that we're getting the storylines with Faith and her teenage troubles, but I feel like this storyline has too many holes in it. Faith is supposed to be smart. It just doesn't make sense that the way this story has played out. I don't think that Faith even asked the admirer how they got her number. It is really an insult to our intelligence and not a very well thought out story. Yeah, Diana, it felt tacked on. It really did felt tacked on. Like Y&R realized that, we never really did anything with Jordan. Everybody's expecting her to turn out to be bad, so let's just make her be bad and then we'll just plot device our way through this with whatever the result is of Faith being in the car drunk. Kamna says, it seems like a really long plot tool, either to A, get Faith off the show to leave for boarding school, because let's not think of the alternative, or B, a way that she'll ultimately meet Moses. Either he'll be driving to Genoa City, or she'll end up at the clinic or the hospital, and he'll be making rounds with Nate, etc., etc. Yes, I could see that. Maybe Faith gets into an accident, and somehow that leads her to Moses. Well, that's certainly a possibility. I know we're all anxious to connect Faith to Moses because they'd be in the same age range, and it certainly does make sense. Hey, speaking of Elena and Nate, Allie K says, I find it interesting that despite Nate and Elena being the main and pretty much only doctors at Memorial, they're stuck with pinned-on name tags on their white coats. It might look more official if their names were embroidered on the jackets, as well as the name of the hospital. It's the little things. Am I right? Yeah, you probably can't have a name tag pin on your white doctor jacket while you're in doing surgery. What if Nate dropped one of his name tags into the surgery that Hillary died, or that Hillary had, and that's why she died? That could be. Jamie says, womp womp, it was Chelsea. Boring. Ray having poisoned himself would have been a much more interesting and juicy outcome, in my opinion. Yes, that I was kind of hoping that there would be some sort of twist there. I guess it's still possible that there could be. Maybe Ray planted the evidence. I don't know. It would be a pretty good and interesting twist still, though, if somehow Ray was in it with Chelsea. I don't know. It's probably not. But it seems what it is what it is. I just don't know how they're going to get a Chelsea out of this. Jamie also says, in other news, my heart is broken for Faith. Please, Y&R, don't do a Cassie 2.0 storyline. Oh yeah, that was the first thing I thought too when I saw the preview of her in the car. I don't think they're going to do that again, but I also can't rule it out. Can't rule out anything these days. Astra says, I'm disappointed that it was all Chelsea all along gaslighting Sharon and Ray. I was hoping for something more complex than that. I don't know if Chelsea's leaving the show, but if she's staying, I assume that Faith is going to hit Adam and put him into a coma to keep Chelsea's secret a while longer, probably till May sweeps, and then eventually it'll get brushed under the rug. And Sherrod says, now if Melissa Claire Egan Chelsea is not leaving the show and Adam didn't bust her, then Faith somehow is going to end up in it causing an accident and maybe hurt Adam so that it takes a while before he gives Chelsea up. What? Faith hitting Adam or any kind of run-in between Faith and Adam is a brilliant twist, but I really like the idea of Faith hitting Adam somehow because it makes Sharon and Ray now indebted to Adam. It creates this
this weird parallel with what happened with Delia, so that would be a twist that I wouldn't have seen coming. Ellen says, or Faith will crash and Adam will save her life. Again. That could be it too. Yes, that could be it. That would be such a redemption for Adam. So we should not count on that happening. Herman says, Chelsea, 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 what are we to do with you? It's easy for some people to say that she should get up and just leave Chatham. I agree. But at the same time, Adam keeps pulling her in because he doesn't want to be alone in his self-made purgatory while waiting for Sharon. And so I cheer Chelsea on when she wants revenge. Well, I guess I know how you're going to vote in the poll then, huh, Herman? Daisy says, to help prove his innocence, I hope that Adam had set up a webcam in his car for security and in his apartment to check on Chelsea. Oh, yes, that is a good idea, Daisy. If Adam had any kind of webcam set up in that apartment, he would catch Chelsea getting up all over the place, and he would catch Chelsea and Chloe commiserating. Diana says Adam caught Chelsea moving when he peeked in on her. Adam could have just as easily accidentally poured a cold glass of water on Chelsea, and as her natural instinct would be to react. It's not too late to do that, though, if Chelsea somehow tries to deny her recovery. I was thinking that too, Diana, that somebody needed to do something that would cause Chelsea to react. You would think that would have been the doctor. But if there would have been a moment where Adam himself tried to get a reaction out of Chelsea, if he did that and it ended up that his instinct was wrong and Chelsea was actually paralyzed, he would have felt awful. That would have been an awful moment for him. And Adam's got a lot of awful moments coming. Ellen, on Ray's search warrant, says, inadmissible, Your Honor. My client wasn't born yesterday and wouldn't leave evidence in his own home and car, and the detective is the alleged victim here, hardly an impartial investigator. He probably planted the evidence himself. He entered my client's home with a suspicious black bag. I'm preparing a suit for unlawful search and seizure and police misconduct against the city of Genoa Junction as we speak. That's really funny. And also, you're mentioning that there certainly is some reasonable doubt that Ray could have planted that evidence himself. Now, he entered the home with no other officers present. Yes, I don't think this is going to hold up in court at all. Victoria says, Ray searching Adam's penthouse is beyond conflict of interest. Anything he finds would be inadmissible in court in real life. Get a hold of yourself, Ray. Just punch Adam out like most angry Y&R characters. I'm sure Devon could give you some pointers on how to really make it hurt. Let's talk about this mess that Chloe finds herself in. Daisy says, I'm disappointed that Chelsea is now an attempted murderer. And in Chloe for not thinking of everything that she could lose. Even if she didn't know Chelsea's full plan, she can be charged. I don't want to see them get away with this, but if caught, Chelsea may have a plan to use her health issues to get out of what she did, leaving Chloe in the lurch. Even if Chelsea really did have a break with reality, Chloe didn't. Oh, yeah, I wonder if they're going to connect this back into Chelsea's brain, or she had a hemorrhage, or maybe her surgery wasn't right. That's probably what it is. They're going to say something went wrong with her surgery that made her do these bad things, so all is forgiven. Everybody just move on. We'll pair Chelsea with Nick or something. That might be, I don't know. Oh, goodness. Moving quickly now. I feel my energy waning. Marianne V, about our poll question, Amanda and Devon, should she forgive him? Marianne V says, Devon can't be trusted. He is still in love with Elena. Amanda should start seeing Nate. Okay. I feel you there. Lynn4283 says, I'm going back and forth. I am so disappointed the way Devon did not tell Amanda right away that he slept with Elena. Then he slept with Elena again while still with Amanda. In my opinion, Amanda should forgive Devon eventually, but Devon needs to be alone for a while until he knows who he wants. Amanda deserves better. Sorry, Devon. And Astra says, okay, I'm really torn. I voted for her to forgive him because I would rather see them as a couple than for him to go back to Elena. But Amanda should make Devon work really hard to get her back. It should be a rough road for Devon to prove himself to Amanda if she's who he truly wants. I'm wondering if they will keep Devon single, so if they decide to kill off Chance, Devon and Abby can bond over their baby and start getting romantically involved because of it. Good point. There is a path that leads to Devon and Abby out of all of this. Sharita says, I'm in the minority. I really want Devon and Amanda to work it out. I really like them together. I don't enjoy him with Elena. I don't see a viable match for Amanda. I like their spark together, and they weren't even official the first time it happened. I feel like they can be an amazing power couple. I also think Amanda is able to accept all of Devon, and Devon is able to see all parts of Amanda. I think she's going to need his love and support to deal with her new powerful family. Yes, that's my preferred pairing too. I prefer Devon and Amanda, but I think going back to Astra's point, Amanda definitely is going to need to make him work if that's going to happen. Well, let's talk about Amanda's conflict with her powerful new family. Superplex says, what if Naya's dad was guilty? Yes, I think that's a possibility. I'm going to let Daisy speak on that theory in a minute, but Superplex also mentioned separately that this is a journey for Amanda, a journey of self-discovery and an opportunity to flush out the character for us viewers. Yes, I think that's why I think she'll eventually go forward with it, and I think that's why I want her to take the job. In reality, I would tell her, no, stay out of this sticky mess. You don't need this. You don't need these people. You don't even know these people. But because I'm interested in Amanda's journey and how she's going to connect in with her family, that's the reason why I want her to do it, to move forward. But here's Daisy's theory. In here, Daisy says, I think it was pretty cruel that Naya tried to manipulate Amanda into helping her father by saying, in essence, they can get to know each other, one big happy family. The family should have welcomed Amanda with open arms from the beginning, not because she's helping them legally. I think Naya knows Sutton, her father, killed Richard, Amanda's father. And if that turns out to be the case, I still wonder if Naya had been assaulted by Richard and became pregnant, and her father said he'd take care of it. But the truth is surfacing now, and Sutton must face what he did. And if that didn't happen, if Sutton is innocent, then I wonder who and why someone set him up. My first thought in this direction is that Naya was assaulted by Richard and killed him, and her father covered it up. And now Naya wants to help her father without disclosing the truth. I hope, though, that Amanda does not get involved in the case, gets to know her family, and will be the one to discover the truth, whatever the truth is. And with more information, she may be able to understand her mother better and why she made the choices that she did for her twins. Yes. And I'm sorry, I think I misspoke. You hope that Amanda does get involved in the case for those reasons. But oh my goodness, yes, if all of this path leads to a nice little plotty twist, like something had to happen in there that explains Naya's actions to give the children away, and helps Amanda connect with her mother through that, I think that's excellent. And I hope that is actually the direction that it ends up going. I hadn't thought of that at all. Oh, well, goodness. So much good stuff coming down the pike. Superplex, I'm going to leave us with Superplex's just funny little notion here. I don't know why I picked up on this, but I guess because we have so much text message action on the show right now, Superplex says, I wish that I could text as immaculately as the characters in Y&R. And I don't know why, but I just thought that was a funny little notion, because if this were reality, there would be so many typos.
It's so much auto-correcting between them all. Like the only time anybody ever corrected themselves was this week when when Adam tried to send a response to Sharon that would have let her know in advance of Ray's search warrant that he didn't send those text messages. Well, it was a fine time to change your mind and discover the backspace button, Adam. Oh gosh, I'm tired, guys. It's early and I think I've used up all my energy for the day. So I'm going to get going. It's nap time for me. It's time for you to go to yrchat.com to leave me your comments. I love you guys and I'm going to see you next week. Bye.